All right, we're back. Got interviews with Daddio. Dad, I got a question from Judy.
Okay.
Judy. Um, she just got back from her trip overseas. She met with Wes
Right.
Jr. and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw all of her pictures on Facebook and stuff. But she said, I wanted to contribute for your interview and said it was hard to choose just one, but I think your dad will appreciate this one. Hopefully, my memory of the event is correct. And I want you to tell the side of your story that you remember, and then I'll read the rest of her email to you, okay? She said about the time, I think you're going to an evening service at Buffalo Gospel Tabernacle,
Yeah.
and Terry and Marshall and her had already got into the old black carryall, or the Suburban,
Yes.
and a storm came through, and a tree fell on it.
Yes.
So go ahead and elaborate on that story.
Excuse me. Yes. I remember that pretty well. We were getting ready, and Judy and Marshall and Terry already got in the car, and then the tree fell on. They ran and got in the car because it was raining, and then a tree fell on the car and knocked down part of the clothesline. And Marshall, I guess, ran inside, and he was scared, and then Judy was crying, and I was up there by Mom. We were just coming out of the house, and Mom was standing up there with her hands on her head, just crying. I said, "Oh, help! My babies, my babies!" I said, "They aren't babies." Anyway, I ran down there and opened the door and picked up Judy and was carrying her back in the house, and I picked her up, and I was running, and I ducked under the clothesline, but she didn't duck, and I was going, and I caught her chin on the clothesline and almost choked her, and I think that's maybe because she has a longer neck. Anyway, got up there, and she was crying. She had a big red mark on her neck, and then I was going to go down there and get Terry, and he just set it in the car. We were getting ready for Saturday night, young people's meeting. At
like a
Buffalo
youth group.
Gospel Tabernacle, where the young people do the program or the service. They'll have a poem or a song or a reading, things like that. And and so that's what we did. That's where I had my first public sketching.
Oh, okay.
Janice read Corinthians about put on the whole armor of God, and I was drawing the helmet of salvation, the breastplate, and then the sword of salvation and all that. Can't remember exactly at all, but I drew it on newsprint, a big tablet, and so that's how I got introduced to doing it publicly. But anyway, that was a good event about Judy didn't get hurt that bad, and we all went to church. And
Do you remember how old she was?
I'm thinking that she was probably 9, maybe 8 or 9,
Okay.
because I was like,
Well, let me go ahead and read. Let me go ahead and
Okay.
read what she said.
okay,
It says we were getting ready to go to Saturday evening service at Buffalo Gospel Tabernacle, and she said Terry, Marshall, and her were already going to the car, while Mom rounded up the rest of the siblings. She goes, I think I was in elementary school at the time. Said the car was parked under the big apple tree that had a clothesline attached.
yeah,
A thunderstorm blew in, and Marshall got scared and went back to the house. Lightning must have hit the tree or the wind. It just fell on the car and trapped Terry and me inside. The side and the back doors were blocked. Gordy came to the rescue. He had me climb over the front seat and then lifted me from the car. And she said her head got caught on the broken clothesline.
yeah.
And she was too scared to notice that she was bleeding from the broken wire when it scratched her forehead.
Yeah.
And she said she still has that scar on her
I
forehead.
don't remember that part, but I remember catching her neck because I ducked.
Oh, okay. But she said she still has that scar on her forehead to this day. And I thought we'd get to skip church after that, she said, but we went anyway to give thanks for being spared. The next few days we played on that down tree, and I gave it a good stomping.
Yeah,
So that's what she said.
she was smashing it.
Yeah. Now, this is I'm going to interject something here from that story, but this is another thing with Judy, and you'll probably be embarrassed telling this one.
Oh, I know where you're coming
But
from.
it's always the family's running joke whenever we get together,
Okay.
and and we get ready to break out the card games, or the board games like Life and Clue and But I want you to tell me the story about you and Judy, and I don't know who else.
Okay.
Because it just comes to you and Judy. That's all I remember.
All
But
right.
you all playing Monopoly.
Yeah, we're playing Monopoly, and we were all going around the board and everything, and I kept landing on people's property, and I had to pay getting rid of my money. Finally, I got enough money to buy a house. I think it was a house, not a hotel, but a house, and I landed on the property. But then, just when I got enough money to land on the house, I landed on Judy's property that had a hotel, and I had to give up on my money, and I got upset and I slapped her. And I left. I said, I quit. And then, of course, my guilty conscience, and I went in, and Mom was in the kitchen, and I said, Mom, I just slapped Judy. She said, what'd you do that for? I said, well, I lived on her property, and I had to pay all my money. She said, it's just a Monopoly game. I said, Mom, and I'm sorry I did that. She said, well, go in there and apologize to Judy and give her a kiss and a hug. And I said, do I have to do that? And she said, yes. So that sometimes was worse than a whipping. But I've done that a lot growing up on the farm with my siblings, apologizing
and hugs,
confessing to Mom. But we still, like Brian said, when we had a get together, we'd play board games and things like that. And I wouldn't play Monopoly.
What's your favorite board game?
My favorite board game is Scrabble.
Scrabble.
I love Scrabble.
Do you remember the first time that I ever won?
Yeah, and
Did I ever beat you?
Yeah, and you beat me. You landed on I don't know how old you were, but you landed on. You spelled out something, and you got a triple or something, and your first move was like 78 or something like that, and I'd already got like 25 on there or something, and then
I think it was just last week or something because it took me forever to ever beat you and Mom.
Yeah.
I mean, oh.